Today's top coat day. Kyle's down there having a bit of a go, bit of practice. He's doing all the hard things I don't want to do. So we're going with a satin black. That's what the engine's going to be, and intercooler. I'll show you what he's done here already. Done the radiator. Done it at different positions. We had it laying down and we stood it up. Tried to get all angles. And half of it's buried in the truck, you don't see it. It's just a peace of mind that there's paint on everything. We won't have that corrosion factor. And me personally, this morning, looks like the fuel tanks have got the measles. Been through with a fine glaze putty, spot putty, and tried to fill anything I could see. I think my applicator I was using, it wasn't the best. I put it on an oil stone and gave it a rub just to try and square it up on the end and make it. I think you're probably better to use a plastic one. I don't know, that's the trouble. Not conversant with what you do, but it's on. So I've started sanding them. I'll give that a wipe. I didn't grab any real fine paper off them. I'm just trying to use a bit of worn out 240 grit. Make do with what I've got. So yeah, give them a bit of a sand. As I said previously in my last upload, I'm just doing what you can see visually when it's on the truck. I'm not terribly worried about what's around the other side, even though I have done them, but yeah. There's the other tank. It's got the same disease as the first one. Contagious. And around. And no, I didn't use that applicator. It's just been sitting on there, big wide one. Overall, they've come up pretty good, dried overnight, and I reckon they'll look alright with the top coat on them. A couple of layers of paint, fill the holes, that'll be alright. Alright, I think Kyle's waiting for me to turn this around so he can paint the other side. Okay, thought I'll show you this. My 40-foot container obviously turned up with my one item in it. So I ordered a key switch. I haven't really checked whether that's right or wrong, but not to be worried, I'll make it work. And yes, I did read the instructions in the bag. It tells you not to put the key in the door barrel locks and turn it before it's in the door. So I'm just going to show you what I've come up against. So all this here is, I have already tried it before I've turned the camera on. I'll still show you what's happening. So turn this the right way. And the little notch is on the door here and all that. So all this goes in here, which I suppose I can do. So that fits in there, like so. And then come around to the dark side of the job. And all I've got is one of these. Obviously missing one. And I know you could order these with the door barrels. Well, I didn't have that option with what I ordered, but I do know they're out there. And I've got this door latch loose in here, and these slide in behind and they go in and they grab that barrel. So I've mucked around and I did get it in there, but the problem is it's loose. So yeah, that there's not thick enough to take up where it gets locked into the door. I'll see if I can get that out. I'll show you here on the camera. That's the thickness there. Time you allow for the door skin, and then you've got to put the lock in that I just had in my hand to stop that moving. So the other option is to put it through and cut the rod off, drill it and thread it and put a screw in there with a big washer so it pulls up against this here. and that will work. That'll hold the whole unit in, but it's pulling on this obviously, which in here, which I don't want to do. May pop the ball out or pull on the barrel. It's not really the right made to do that. So the cutting plan I've come up with is we obviously need to fill, I've got a high-tech pointer here, get the surgeon's light onto it. Need to fill this cavity here, so we allow for the door skin and then whatever I slide in from the side. So as you can see in the shot here, I found some thin washers. So I've marked, can't see the, oh you can see the pencil mark. So I've marked what I think's the width, so I'm just going to cut those down and then we'll see if we can slip them onto the barrel. And once all the door latch is done up, that holds it all in there anyway, crimps it in. So we'll have a go at that. Alright, done the cutting, and that slips on over that okay, but we've got a bit of play there, but whether it's going to be too much time we put it in the door skin, I don't know. So we'll go and have a fight with it, see if we can get it in. I don't think we really want to hammer it in. I'll sit you up here. I don't know if this is going to work for you. See if we can get this through. Because whatever I make for one side, I've got to make for the other side. As we've talked about before, there's two of everything on here. Now the big question is, am I going to slip that behind the paper or in front of it? Now the barrel looks jumped through. No, it might be too thick. I think it's too thick. Looking promising. I've just got it in there a bit. I can't move the barrel. Not a real good fit on the outside of the door. Nothing to be proud of. Right, we might just have to thin that down a little bit. Trouble is you can't see in there. I'll loosen this off a bit. That's why I didn't rivet the latches in. I can muck around and try and get these fitted. And here we are with a ground up piece. I ground it with a very slight taper point on it. So I've just done a test fit, slipped it in, and the barrel lock goes tight. So I'm just going to give that a squirt of paint. Just going to sit in the door there for the rest of its life and get locked in. So yeah, that's good. So I'm going to make another one now. If I was clever, one would sit that on there and mark that off. He knows what he's doing. Well, I've got a few different washers here, but different diameters, and yeah, no two the same there. But these two here are the same. It's going to work alright. So washer's pretty hard. You can see it's gone blue where I ground it, but that's good. I kept thinking about how I was going to do that. Just yeah, a little brain fart. I was watching Mike the truck nut on the weekend. He's trying to start an old Peterbilt he's found. He come out with a good phrase while he's driving along in his pickup truck. He said, "I hope you like to listen because I like to talk." Well, that's a good one. I try not to do that too much on my videos. I like to just show you what I've done and what I'm doing and keep it brief. I don't want to sit there and bore you with 50 minutes of it might have worked like this and it might have worked like that. Okay, I've got to file a bit off the washer, or grind a bit off it. Not much. And that'll go on there and it'll be nice and tight. I think that's going to be the best option. Manufacture that. can't come out once the latch is all done up. Well, I hope it can't. This truck will go that fast it won't feel the bumps. It'll just glide from one to the next, and yeah. Right, we'll have a bit of a fire up and we'll try it again. I'll bring you back when I go to fit it. I only show you the good stuff. Okay, we managed to get the barrel locks into the door. I've made those, gave them a squirt of paint, they've slipped in. So the barrel lock's tight, can't move it. The shaft is obviously, you move that around, so we're not pulling on the barrel. Well, that's worked right. I've put the latch in, that's done up. The only thing I need to do on this side, I've already done it on the other side, I am going to double nut these. Double nut those up. American trucks don't rattle, do they? Nothing will fall off. I just can't be bothered having it all come loose and having to fish the bits out of the door, so I'll just put plenty of these nuts. I know you wouldn't normally nut these in, or bolt them in, sorry, with nuts. You'd, I'll get that on in a minute. You would obviously rivet all these in, but I've talked about that previously, it's not going to happen. So, that, yeah, something I sort of did think about is these could go in later, which would make it easier for masking, but I'm just, yeah, that area there, I mean, you paint the door, and then you've got to paint these separately and put them in, and I'm just frightened that it will crack the paint or damage the paint when you do those up. And you could always, I suppose, squirt over it if you had to, but then you've got to mask it all up anyway. So I'll try it this way. You can only but fail. And this is something I haven't tried yet. Alright, I've got that closed. Let's see what happens. Whew. Look at that. So we're in the lock position there. Unlock. Yep. Sweet. You shouldn't be able to lock that. There, you won't go across because it's not closed up here. Ooh. They're in the lock position. Yeah. Cool. Brings back memories of the old Kenworth we had. You had to be so careful on a cold frosty morning not to break the key off in the door. None of it turned easily. It's alright though. I'll make sure there's plenty of lube in there. Spray them up before I put the doors together. Paint time. Been to town this morning. Got our cat yellow. This is the modern cat yellow. There, not quite focusing. Yep. So yeah, 3:1 ratio, hardener, and then reducer. The cups with all the contents, and got a top coat gun. So that's got a 1.3 tip in it. I've run some reducers through it to clean it. It's brand new. So there's our bumper. It's all been Scotch Brights, rubbed and cleaned with reducers. Steering wheel, I'm going to give that a squirt in the centre. Hung all the pots again. The bands, they've all been rubbed as well, wiped down, so they're going to get hung on the bottom of the bar here once I've done the pots. I just didn't want too much on there at the moment. Looks like a Christmas tree in here. Got things hanging everywhere. Got the bumper hanging up, and got cutting with the forklift. Put my boom on, and I've hung 2 items off there, so I don't have to handle them. Don't want to flip them over, like once I paint and then wait and then flip it over. Don't want to do that. and the other two items over here hanging up. Better cover my seats too. Not worried about the dash, that's all going to be done with a interior paint. We'll talk about that this morning with the man, so we'll sort that out. Alright, we're in the day off. Yeah, been painting all day here. I didn't film myself painting. I don't think you need to see all that. It's interesting, the paint goes on and then it flashes off and it looks totally different, which is normal I suppose for paint, but it's not too bad. So got the rear bumper all done. Spotlight here. The lighting's not 100% in this shed, obviously. It's not a painting booth. Don't have 360 lighting. We've got the slide. Tried to get it from all angles. It's not able to touch it up later though. It's not critical. Yes, I painted the turntable top. Got the underside. A young fella did that. I gave him the paint gun and I said go for it. Can't hurt anything. So you got in all the angles, filled it up. You got less runs than I did, I think. Underside of the fifth wheel mount. I want everything painted before it's bolted together. The last drop. Rear cross member. I know I've got a couple of runs and it was actually the primer. I can see it when I... That's come up right, it's glossed up. Air control for the locker. Fuel tank bands. Not a good day here, it's a lot of wind outside, and I know I've got dust floating around in the shop here. I blew all the floor out before I started, but it's just incredible. I've got sand back inside here. Not good. Back side of the bumper. Now I'll show you something I'm not sure, the camera should pick it up if it focuses on it. I'll just go in. Yeah, real hard to see. I'll try and point to it. Like I've got marks in there. You'll be able to see them. I'm pretty sure, without asking the experts, that's watermarks. I think got a bit of moisture come through the gun. I got air dryers on there, but it's obviously not enough. Either that or it's reacted with something. I'm not a painter. I've said that before and I'll say it again. I can see all the dust stuck to it. It's a good learning curve. It's teaching me a lot. Trying on this stuff before I attack the fuel tanks. I know, yeah, I won't be painting those on a windy day. Just got to keep the dust down, water the ground and that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy overall with what I've done today. I had to get some paint on because what I'd blasted and primed I left sitting outside under my canopy area here, and it had gone off where I hadn't primed it fully, and yeah, primer doesn't hold it for long in the moisture. So I wanted to get this top coat on there and seal it up or prevent it going any further. I've worked on the tanks quite a bit, done a lot more glazing, filler on them, sanded, and the body man come out today, as I previously said. He had a look and he said, yeah, it's awesome, just re-prime them with the etch primer, because he said the glaze can suck up the primer sometimes. So if you just top coat them at all without re-priming, it could soak up the top coat and you have different shades. That's all good, it's great advice. I don't know. I appreciate him coming out and helping me like that, it's really good. So the tanks are covered up here. I'm not going to pull the covers off because I'll stir the dust up. There'll be another exercise when I do that. So I'll end the what I've done this week right now. Yeah, I'm not sure how much footage I've got here. Not a lot, I don't think. I've been in the shed terribly a lot. I've yeah, we focused on a few other things this week. Well, with that, I'd like to say thanks, and yeah, hit that like button. It helps, it gets it out there. So I hope you enjoy what you see, and appreciate you following me. Thank you.